Hello and happy Easter. Hope you're all having a lovely Easter weekend. We're going to see some rain coming up from the south across England and Wales today. It's been well advertised, of course. This is in on the radar pit, some quite heavy rain there, stretched out along the south coast through the channel, just coming up into southeastern parts of England. That's going to push northwards and eastwards, I think, through the course of this afternoon, turning much of England and Wales wet. The northern extent probably somewhere around North Wales and northern parts of England, say Lincolnshire, somewhere like that. To the south of that, you are going to get a spell of rain this afternoon, but to the north, not too bad. And actually, going to stay dry for Scotland, Northern Ireland, much of northern England throughout this weekend, through today and through Bank Holiday Monday as well. Could be some showers down in the south for Bank Holiday Monday afternoon. Well, we're going to do the JMA look ahead today. It is JMA Sunday rather than JMA Friday. They took Good Friday off, so we're going to do the update from the Japanese model today. We've got two sets of charts to look at. We've got month-ahead forecasts that we always have every Friday. We're going to look at that. We're also going to look at the longer range from the Japanese model, taking us up to July. But before I get on with that, just want to mention the advertising. There's video ads on my pages at GazWebViz.com. You can press play on the video ad. You'll be supporting GazWebViz.com, and thanks very much for doing that. So starting off with the month head from the Japanese model, first of all, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into weekly periods. The first week period, which will be taking us from the 17th to the 24th of April, so the week that we're currently in. Of course, the first thing you need to know is that the British Isles is upside down, so we're there. But it's quite easy to make out what's going on. We've got a ridge of high pressure with those orange colours up to the northeast. We've got a trough of low pressure, I should say, out to the west and to the southwest with those blue colours. So it's a classic sort of battleground scenario for the coming week, with high pressure to the northeast, low pressure to the west. Low pressure really in the ascendancy this week, so it is going to be a more showery week than we've been used to recently. Not a washout by any means, but it's certainly going to be more unsettled, and that's a pretty good representation in terms of 500 millibar height anomaly for the weather that we've got coming up, or the pattern that we've got coming up. Winds are generally southerly, though, with this, so it is going to be relatively mild, actually quite warm at times through the middle of the week. No problems with temperatures, good growing weather this week. As we go through to the second weekly 500 millibar height anomaly forecast, which will be taking us from the week from the 24th to the 3rd of May, so going out into next month, well, we lose the ridge up to the northeast, and this trough of low pressure is elongating over the country. So if anything, that turns it probably cooler and more unsettled as we get through to the end of April into the start of May. Actually, we've lost that ridge up to the northeast. I think the jet stream is digging in around that trough of low pressure, so probably just about on the cool side of the jet. And yeah, we're under the trough, so it will be unsettled. Again, not a washout, but quite unsettled, I think, at the end of April into the start of May. A little bit cooler as well, and that's beginning to show up on some of the more extended models. And then finally, the two-weekly period at the end, which takes us from the 3rd to the 15th of May, so into the middle of the month. And it's the same idea, really, with the trough extending down through the country with those blue colours. Got low pressure there, sitting more or less around to the north and the northwest of the country. There's no real ridge of high pressure around either, so if on the face of it, the first half of May will remain quite unsettled, and we're still just about on the cool side of the jet stream with that as well, so probably quite a coolish, unsettled first half to May, if that is right, to be honest. Let's look at the 3 monthly forecasts from the Japanese model. We'll deal with May first of all. This is again 500 millibar height anomaly for May. British Isles again is just there upside down with these charts. And for the month ahead forecast for the month of May, well, I've got the idea, but we're just looking at really with the trough of low pressure around and to the west of the country, the jet stream digging southwards around that trough of low pressure. So it could be a cool and unsettled month, although also the suggestion there of some sort of blocking up around Iceland and around Greenland. So that's not particularly inspiring either. It could be quite a coolish and unsettled month, May, on the face of what we're looking at with the Japanese model maybe our first cooler than average month of 2014. Although I thought that about April, of course it hasn't worked out at all. April's going to turn out to be a very warm month indeed. But at some point we've got to see an end to this run of warm weather that we've had really since December. We've been running around 2 degrees above average since December. At some point it's got to end. We can't keep this anomaly going indefinitely. Maybe May will be the month where that happens. As we get through to June, a little bit different for June, because the trough is extending more to the south of the country, so we're taking some of the energy down to the south with that area of blue. There also got the low pressure well out into the Atlantic actually. There's no real sign of high pressure, but I would suggest we've probably got some sort of high pressure up here. So what we're probably getting with that is drier conditions up to the north, and maybe unsettled, possibly even thundery conditions down to the south through June, but it would be a warmer month, I think. With that low pressure bringing up southerly to southeasterly winds at times, and it would be threatening, I think, for England and Wales. Risk of some thundery rain, possibly some thunderstorms at times. Difficult one to make out there for June. As we go ahead to July, well, the trough of low pressure is still out to the west of the country with those blue colours. So yeah, we've got a trough of low pressure there. High pressure with those yellow colours sitting up to the northeast of the country. That's probably quite an unsettled looking signal for July, but it's not cold. We will be bringing up southerly, southwesterly winds at times, I think, so possibly quite a warmish sort of July, but unsettled, particularly in the west and the southwest, with some bands of rain, maybe thundery rain at times, but no great signal there for a particularly settled scenario up to July anyway. The JMA model is seeing it remaining relatively unsettled, I think, as we get into the first half of the summer. Just have a quick look at the temperature forecast for the next 3 months from the Japanese model and the precipitation forecast. Deal with temperatures first of all. This is for May. British Isles on this particular chart is over here, right in the far top right corner of the chart as you're looking at it. The temperature forecast for May is for quite a coolish month. We're in those blue colours there across most of the country, so a cooler than average month would be expected. For precipitation, it's seeing, unsurprisingly really, on the 500 bit of our high anomaly chart we're just looking at, seeing average to above average rainfall there. More nearer normal for Scotland and Northern Ireland, because we're closer to that blocking area of high pressure, remember, to the north of the country. But for England and Wales, the suggestion is that in those blue colours, so a wetter than average month is likely for May across England and Wales. So quite a coolish, wettish sort of month if the Japanese model is right for next month. As we go through to June, the idea is that really we've got cooler than average temperatures out to the west of the country, nearer normal, slightly above average across most of the British Isles, not deviating that far from the seasonal normal. For precipitation, remember we've got the trough of low pressure to the south of the country, so again the suggestion there is that England and Wales gets the wettest of conditions. It's hard for you to make it out, but it is blue there across England and Wales, whereas it's drier further north. So yeah, I think we would be looking at risk of some thundery, perhaps rain at times, coming into the south of the country, but it is a warmer month compared to what we have in May, because that trough of low pressure from south would be dragging up southerly winds at times. Finally going through to July, and the temperature forecast very similar actually to June, with below average temperatures out to the west of the country, but most of the British Isles in average to slightly above average temperature bracket, in those sort of creamy colours. So yeah, I think we'll be looking at near normal, just a slightly above average. And again, for the rainfall, the idea is that it's dry. It's always driest over the next 3 months to the north of the country. Scotland and Northern Ireland getting the driest weather. Always more unsettled, wetter, perhaps across England and Wales, because we've probably got trough of low pressure sitting just to the south of the country, or southwest, throwing up bands of potentially thundery rain, because it's quite a warm sort of air mass. So quite an unusual pattern being forecast by the JMA model, with wetter conditions down to the south, drier conditions up to the north. So that's the 3 monthly forecast from the Japanese model. If you've enjoyed looking at the 3 monthly from the Japanese, next weekend I'll do a full summer sort of look ahead using all of the longer range models. So that'll be a long video, but do come back for it next weekend. Very interesting update that will be the second one. Do the final one next month. We'll be looking at the whole of the summer period from June to August with the season models. Before you have a look at weather for the coming week, here's the GFS for tomorrow, Bank Holiday Monday. High pressure up to the north, low pressure down south. So that's a pretty good representation of what the JMA are predicting for the next 3 months, to be honest. So this pattern could be in for quite some time. Actually, the high pressure extending up to the north of Scotland, but low pressure down to the south. Could be showers tomorrow, and some of those could be heavy. They'll be quite scattered, I think. As you go through to Tuesday, actually the showers could be a little bit heavier, with risk of hail and thunder quite widespread. Again, high pressure up to the northeast, low pressure down to the southwest. And that's sort of how we go on through the week. Keeping things quite slack, so always the risk of showers, possibly longer spells of rain. Some of the showers could be quite heavy until we get through to next weekend, when this area of low pressure may start to push in and bring a more defined band of heavy rain and strong winds across the country. Again, particularly perhaps affecting Ireland, England and Wales, with that high pressure still blocking up to north country. That's quite a deep low pressure, 990 millibars to the southwest line. Could be quite wet and windy next weekend. The ECMWF, finally, it's the same idea for Bank Holiday Monday. High pressure keeping Scotland mainly dry, showers possible for England and Wales. As we go, we keep the pattern going really. The high pressure up to the northeast, low pressure down to the southwest. It's not cold because bringing up southerly winds, but there are showers or longer spells of rain threatening. As we go through to next weekend, there's the low pressure down to the southwest of the country on Saturday. That deepens and runs in towards northern France as we go through into Sunday, again bringing risk of some quite heavy rain and strong winds to England and Wales in particular. There we are on Monday the 28th. So we're going to go with the low pressure sitting just off the south coast in the Channel. Yeah, it could be particularly unsettled next weekend. So it looks like we're in a more unsettled phase for the coming week, with showers, longer spells of rain. And next weekend could be particularly unsettled. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The extended look ahead from a Japanese model, it looks as though up to July anyway, we're not going to see anything particularly settled or summery, although temperatures won't be cold. May could be a cooler month, but overall I don't think we're going to see anything particularly cold. It's just going to be quite unsettled, I think, if the Japanese is right. So that's the 3-month look ahead from the Japanese model. As I say, we'll be looking at the whole of the summer next Sunday, so do come back for that. Enjoy what's left of your Easter Sunday. Watch out for the rain across England and Wales this afternoon. And that's it for now. Oh, by the way, tonight we'll be starting the May bank holiday forecast on the events page. Can you believe we're looking at the May Day bank holiday? That's just coming into the extended range of the GFS model. So looking at that tonight, probably around 7 o'clock on the events page. That's it for now. Enjoy what's left of your Easter Sunday. Bye for now.